This week on SV Lynx. Welcome to this week's SV Lynx video. Last week we managed to dry fit one of the two bow chamfer panels. We learned some things and confirmed a few other things.
Now, there's another 1520 being built in Australia and another one I believe in another part of the world. But the one in Australia talks to us some, and we learned from them that they had a ton of trouble fitting the bow chamfer panels. And when we put ours up in that dry fit, we found out that we had the same exact problems with it, and it was going to take some adjustments to make that panel work. So our goal this week is to get those two chamfer panels adjusted and lifted up and screwed into the 2x4 that we added to the bulkheads just for that purpose of screwing it in while we get that thing twisted and working. But that's going to take a large crew of people. So we're going to do that on Saturday when I can get our big crew Saturday going.
So during the week, we'll get some other work completed, like gluing and tabbing the long hull pieces that sit at a 45-degree angle off the deck. Remember, our bigger goal is to get the entire outside of the boat sealed up before the upcoming winter rains. So we've got a lot of work to do to get that done in the next 6 weeks.
She's right. And we're going to start, for example, by bonding these 45-degree ones to the deck pieces up there, and then we're going to try to tab the whole length of them together. But we also have some other stuff to do up at the bow. So, for example, up here, we've uncovered a little bit just to show you, but we've got to get all of these deck pieces bonded together that go around from the bow and in front of the windows over there. We don't usually get up here and show you much up top because it's all just covered with tarps all the time to keep the sun off things. We just uncovered this so we can see a little right now, and we uncover it as we do work down there.
Then we'll move to the interior of the boat and work on the diesel tanks and the shower and sink plumbing in both hulls.
All right, that's all down here. So we have decided that the diesel tanks are going to go centered in the boat in these two areas here, and then the plumbing will go from the sink to the shower to the sink, and we'll get that all in there soon.
Once that's completed, we can install the head and hallway walls which support the deck above.
And we need that supported so that we can put in the window panels that go all the way along this salon and all the way around here. And we need those in so that we can take out this wood that you see up there and drop this roof down, and then we can glass all of this into one big sealed up boat.
At that point, the hull will be sealed up except for the sugar scoop area and the side hull panels.
Let's take a look at what that means. This is where the side hull panels go. They go all the way down the side of the boat here. But we don't want to seal this up early because we're going to be doing tons of fairing and sanding, and we want both the light to come in, the airflow to be there to get the dust out. And so there's no reason to put these on when we can just hang tarps off the edge of the deck and close this off when it's going to rain or something like that. So that's the big plan. But this week, we just want to get those side 45-degree panels tabbed and glassed in and get those two chamfer panels up at the front of the boat and adjusted and screwed onto the boat. That's the goal for this week.
And with that said, let's get to work.
Monday morning, and Brian and I are here at the boat yard working, and since we can't continue working on the chamfer panels forward until we get more people, which will happen maybe Saturday, what we're working on now is this hull piece that goes at this 45-ish degree angle along the side here. And so, as you can see here, we're clamping it down to get it to set. Now, these are temporary bulkheads. We're not be glassing those, so I don't care about that right now. But we're just trying to get these all to match up nicely. Again, that's a temporary bulkhead. But further back here, we've got another clamp here holding this down flat on there so we can start doing that. And more clamps over here, getting it into the right position. So it fits, but just takes some massaging. And we up front here, the bow, we've got some similar things. So it's coming in there just fine. And as we follow along here, it's going to be good. Now here we used a block, and the reason we used a block here is the twist that this is going through is a lot of force. So again, we've got a clamp going here, and that clamp's pretty tight already. And you'll notice there's still a little bit of a gap there. So that's what's been going on this morning. So right now, what Brian and I are going to do is come over to the port side over here. And start working on the same thing. But over here you can see how it's not down flush on here because we haven't done any clamps to get it to fit. That one's pretty close, but it's still got a gap up there. So we'll be doing clamps and all kinds of that good stuff here. So Brian's already getting set up the front here that we can start working on getting this hull panel down. You can see how much it has to twist there. You can see how far up that is. That's on the other one. We had to clamp that down so far. So we're gonna get to it. So our first order of business on this is to get this panel in the right place. And the way that works is that it comes out to the front exact bow of the boat. So Brian's lining that up right there so that I can see if it's in line. Take these down. That looks pretty good where it's at. So this particular part has to curve and twist in, and we can do it. What we've done is we put a strap around here that we can really crank this down. But the problem is as we crank it down, it's bending the bulkhead itself over instead of just cranking this down. So we're going to put a 2x4 up top here to hold the top of the bulkhead straight, and then we can crank this down a little bit and cinch this up. We won't probably glass this or even glue it today. What we want to do is get it warped in position and just let it sit like that for a while, because it'll take that shape if we let it sit there like that for a while. And that won't put as much stress on the tabbing and all that stuff if the board is warped into position permanently. And we also put a block in here to pull this one down, but it's down perfectly here. So that one's good to go. So are the ones going back. It's just this one very twisted turning one up here that we're having to do some special stuff with. So Brian's over there cutting a 2x4 for us right here, which is why I took a break to talk to you guys. And then we'll get that in there, and then we'll tighten this down and just let this sit. We can tab and glue the rest of that back there, but we won't do this upper bow section until maybe a couple days from now, let it really sit and take this shape. But overall, this is fitting very well. It's within tiny little bits other than the twisting, so it's all good so far. Okay, so the 2x4 across there kept this from bending now, and we were able to crank this down. So now it'll just let the time do its thing and let that take its shape. So we're moving on back. This morning what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down, and we had it clamped yesterday, and it's amazing at how fast that it took the shape of where we clamped it down. So it's hardly going to take any clamping at all other than just to bring it down like this, but it's warped into place now along here. So sorry about the chainsaw noise in the background, but we're going to do these two here and the one up there right now, and that'll leave this big gap of the temporary bulkheads after that. And so once these are clamped down and gluing, we'll go forward and do those ones up there. So it's early morning, so finally got some cool weather here to start epoxying. By afternoon it's going to be hot again though, so we're going to have to get this done while we can. So we already prepped it all. Okay, this one's easy. Just needs a little pull down. I'll probably do that with a brick. Okay. And the next three are on. This bulkhead number 5 and then cab 1. So got those 4 actually. This isn't a bulkhead, so I didn't count it, but there's 4 of them we just got in. Now what we didn't do is the bow yet. This one up here and those 2 up there, so 3 up here. But we're not going to do those today because I want this stuff to set up before we let loose of all the clamping over here, because this is the most severely pulled and twisted portion. And so if it gets another day or 2 to hold its shape better by being clamped there before we release those, it's probably better. So it already did quite a good job since just yesterday of starting to hold its shape, but give it another day or so and it'll probably hold it pretty well. Over here, to move our UV protection tarps again, and we'll get started on the stern area back here. Our epoxy goals of the day were to glue both sides of these down except the last 3 in the bow on each side, because we want these to set up before we do this. And so we've got 75% done. We just need to do 1, 2, 3, 4 right here and get this all cinched down. Down a little. Now look at the center. Oh, we're good. Let's do it.
Looks dang.
That went pretty well. A couple hours and we've got these 2 glued down full length of the bulkheads of the boat. Well, these are all glued from yesterday along here. So today we're going to tab them in. So first thing we're going to have to do is sand a little bit, clean it up, and then we've already cut the fiberglass and peel ply, and we'll get to putting these on here. These are 16s. Okay. So let's go with those. All right, time to tab these. Got the coves ready. I just gotta get epoxy in here without getting it all over me. reconfigured our post here so we could take out the other side there. It was only needed to hold that chamfer panel in place. So now it's just all it's for now is just to support that until we get the walls in here to support it, just so it doesn't sag. So we just, you can see we have these three 2x4s now holding it up at an angle there, so that'll hold that up. Now we haven't taken this one out yet because we still haven't mounted the forward chamfer panel. That's not happening until Saturday of this week. Today's Wednesday. So we have to leave this one in, but as soon as we get that chamfer panel all in and everything, we'll do the same thing. We'll put a 2x4 that goes up there and take out that. The moment that comes out, we can then start putting the side that goes along there. And today we glued in more of these over there. These are the only ones that were left, and the other ones we've already actually tabbed in all the way around. So these are the only ones left that we haven't done, and so we glued them today. We'll tab them tomorrow. So those will be ready to go. And then once this is out, when the chamfer panel's in, then we can start putting the sides in, and that'll allow us to put in the furniture, like the galley walls and all that stuff when we want to get to it. We're at the stern this morning and tabbing in the 45-degree hull side. And we've got Jeff here helping us. So he's working on this side of the boat, and I'm going to go work on the starboard side where he's on the port, so we can get this done faster. So here I am on the starboard side, and I'm going to get these two bulkheads done from up here because I can, and then I'll have to go back down to get that bulkhead number 6, have the hull tab to that. So let's get going on this. It's good to have extra help. We'll get a lot more done since our hot weather is still continuing today. Fortunately, this is about the last day of it, so according to the weather report, it's going to start cooling off starting tomorrow. So that's good. We have multiple things going on right now. We've got Jeff over here is working on getting all the glass and the peel ply to tab the remaining bridge deck boxed area extensions. And Brian's getting ready to mix up epoxy for me. And we're going to tab this chamfer panel all the way down 21 feet here. So we can't do the bottom part yet, but we can do the top. The reason we can't do the bottom part yet is because we have to do some grinding and create a strip along there for the tab to go onto. We always knew we were going to do that. I mean, this side looks fairly nice, but if you look over at this side, you can see what I mean. That has to get sanded back all the way down. So we'll be doing some sanding later, but right now we want to do glass work because it's still cool before it gets above 84 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so we got our big crew in here today. We got Jeff and Terry and Nick and Zach and Carl and good old Brian and I. And so So we're doing several dry fits. We're just trying to get this up here, find out where we have to make any little trims, and take it back down again. So it'll be going up and down a few times. The first time we put it up, it was back here somewhat. So now we're trying to go up inside of here and see how that works. So let's give it a go. Okay, keep it straight, guys. There you go. Hey, Carl, where are you at?
I'm about.
Okay, you got to be on the.
I can't hear a word you said.
I know.
Hang on a second. Stop.
Start heading up the alley. Okay, we're clear. Lean your nose around. Okay, now we have to tilt and go low when we get to this. It's very tall.
Almost to the ground. Lower.
Tilt it also. This way, the other tilt. Got more space on this end. Right. Okay, we're clear. You can go up again. But the same thing happens here. It doesn't clear the boat. So let's set it down.
Yeah, you can stand it at the moment.
Alright, so which side needs to be up? This side. So. Yes.
You gotta go forward a little bit more and then flip it because you guys got the tail end of it by the fins.
No, we're okay. We got enough room. Just go flat. We don't need people at the end. We need them in the middle here. There you go. One on each end. The middle of our floppy section. Our floppy section. You guys got a trailer in your way. Don't trip on the trailer.
Our goals for this week have been accomplished, so we're still on track to seal up the boat before the winter rains.
Right, so you can see we've got these chamfer panels up and there's these boards placed on both sides as we're trying to get this thing to take the shape of all this twisting and stuff there. So that's some work we're still going to have to do, but at least the chamfer panels are up. They're screwed on enough that Brian and I can work on them, and this week of course we have my friend Brent here, so we can continue working on this and start fixing the little problems that there are. These are by far the most difficult two panels to put on the entire boat as far as just getting them to fit. And I would say that, you know, we're maybe 70% at this point, but we can do the other 30% no trouble at all because it's small pieces that we have to fix and screw in and stuff. The other thing that's going on is we're still not quite bent all the way in, and so we have a ton of clamps up there that are pulling it over, And they started out about 8 inches out, and now we pulled them over to 4 or 5 inches, and now they're about 2 inches. So we're slowly bringing them over, letting them set for a day, and then bring them over a little more, and it's taking the shape. But it's going to all work out.
We'll need to work on a few other things next week, like tabbing in the stern chamfer panels, which are set to go.
But this week, we got some good news from Schoening finally. I mentioned to you previously that we were waiting for them to see if my new position on those diesel tanks would balance the boat out with the water moved more forward, and it turns out that works perfectly, so we're really happy about that news. So thank you for watching this week and spending time with us. We do appreciate you all coming by, and thanks to our patrons who constantly support our project, and we always appreciate them.
Yes, thank you to all of you, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the bell icon to be notified of our next video.
And we're going to get started on those tabs along the stern chamfer panels. In fact, Brian and Brent are already here. This is the beginning of the week for that. So we're getting started on that actually right now.
Bye.